You're on, right? Reza and Ashley, what's up, guys? Can you guys say hi?
Hey guys. Hi.
Hi.
So I know Reza and Ashley pretty well. We've had quite a lot of conversations. They're going to be presenting today their first property that they did. So tell us a little bit about you guys.
We live right outside of Boulder, north of Denver in Colorado. We've lived here for about 8 years. And before that, we grew up in California, moved out to Colorado to have a more wholesome lifestyle for the girls, to get them out of the Southern California rat race. And we love it out here in the mountains. We're very active. We're in the trails and up at the mountains, skiing and snowboarding as much as possible. And now we're looking to create a legacy for our girls.
That's perfect, man. I love that. We could go to the next slide there, Chris. So tell us, I know the next slide. So tell us a little bit why you joined Lifestyles. Can you walk us through a little bit in your own words?
Yeah, so I remember having this conversation with my financial planner after losing 35% one year. And he was just saying, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to bounce back. It always bounces back. And I just remember telling him, man, we're doing this wrong. There's something wrong here. There has to be a better way. And I was driving in the car one day and thumbing through AM radio and bumped into Dell's radio show and started listening and thought for sure it was a scam. I mean, it was. I'm in outside sales, and this guy's not going to get one past me. He's just like all the other scammers out there, and sounds too good to be true. And kept listening and started poking holes in it, and wanted to find a hole as badly as possible. So I didn't change my path that I was so comfortable in, and I couldn't poke a hole in it. And then I talked to Ashley about it, and we discussed it. And she said, you know, what are we going to do? We don't have the cash to do what you're talking about. And then I told her about the plan of dipping into our, selling all of our stocks and dipping in, cashing out our IRAs. And she just looked at me like I had another head growing out of my shoulder. And that's what we did. So far, so good. It's been, what, 7 months?
9 months.
9 months?
Yeah,
9 months. Time's flying by. But so far, so good.
Thank you, guys. And 9 months means they've bought a property, remodeled it, rented it, and refinanced that. And that's where we're already at. They're already on property 2. They've been looking at property 3 for a couple weeks now, too. So trying to get that third one already. So we're going to walk through. This property is in Angleton, Texas, down south of where you guys are at right now in Houston. Want to know a little bit of this property, and also why did you choose Houston?
Kind of threw a dart at the board, man. No. We looked at Bureau of Labor Statistics. We looked at population growth. Everything that we learned in the 2-day is what we put into action, because we had zero idea as to what we were doing. So Chris told us, go do this. And we went and did that. And then we hooked up with you and Joe, and you guys told us to do that. So we went ahead and did that because we're clueless. We have no idea what we're doing. It's a little bit better now.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit better now, but we liked Houston because it's such a big, huge market. And there's a lot of industry, and the prices were right.
Mm-hmm.
it was reasonable for us to get into that market. And we have a lofty goal of having 40 doors in order to retire and or not have to worry about paying our bills anymore. So we looked at Houston as the most manageable option to get in and scale as fast as we can.
Cool. Thank you, man. Thanks for sharing. So walk us through this property first. Why didn't you keep the pink? The pink looked really nice. It was.
I wanted
really
to pick it. I like the pink.
I know.
I don't. Ashley wanted gray with the red door, so I was like, all right, cool. Pink is very Southern Californian, but yeah, that's a special property. That's our first one. We were tagged 4th on this property. So there's a process that you go to pick a property and they call it tagging. And we didn't think we were going to get it, but then we got a call. The numbers were right. The numbers worked.
Really good.
We pressure tested the numbers to see if, worst case scenario happens, and it happened hard. It happened. And the numbers still worked. Yeah. So we were, I don't want to scare anybody, but.
No, not at all. Let's go through the pictures, guys. Let's go through. So this is the front.
Just look at that.
You converted the kitchen. You kind of opened up the top there and took off the cabinets on top and just made it nice and open. Go to the next one. This is the living room when you first bought it. I remember we talked about it. It was a ton of trash, right? You guys spent quite a bit just removing the garbage from there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that are skeptics be like, well, that's not the same house. Well, if you go all the way to the back of the ugly side on the left-hand side, there's an arc right in the middle. You'll see that same mark in the picture. It's the same house, guys. They just did a real good job. And by the way, they live in Colorado, and they did this in Texas. And the way to do this is the way that Lifestyles teaches you with the right team. So let's go to the numbers. I want you to walk it through with me there, Reza and Ashely.
Okay.
I mean, the project was insane. The clean out took
Dumpsters.
8 giant dumpsters, 8 of them. And there was a lot of unknowns with this rehab. We were expecting about a $65,000 rehab, and it jumped up because we discovered that all the wiring got stolen in the house at some point between the time we bought it and the time the electrician got in there. So we had to rewire the whole house. We had to replumb the whole house. It needed a new roof. The foundation was all messed up. So
What Chris talks about.
it was a full gut. And when I was talking earlier about pressure testing the numbers, with the tutelage and the mentorship that we got from Lifestyles, from you and Joe and other mentors that we've connected with, we pressure tested the numbers for worst case scenarios, and we came across one, but the numbers still worked. Although we found out that all the wiring got stolen in the house, it still worked. So we negotiated the price down to 105, and got a good appraisal on it. And we got our cash flow went up to 285 because we charged pet rent. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently you could charge rent for pets. So we did. So
they did fantastic. They really did, guys. And one of the things that he touched on, we're going to talk about, when he bought the property, they bought it for 100K. The ARV came right about 230. The remodel, as they talked about, was around the 65. but they had gone and put an extra contingency, not just because it's their first one, but also because they were doing things remotely. So they knew that it may cost a little bit more, and actually could have been worse, but because they got the right insurance, they actually got $5,000 back from the insurance to do some of the work that needed to be done on the electrical. So that issue that came by, actually listening to what Lifestyles teaches you and getting the right insurance when you're doing the remodel, actually paid dividends to them by paying them $5,000. So it was a real big blessing to be able to do that as well. Their equity on this property is almost 100%, guys. They don't even live in the same city. And they were able to pull out $31,000 with all the issues, right? And still captured $30,000, almost 31 in equity capture. The rent was a solid $1,975, cash flowing over $250 with a return of 98.7. That's fantastic. You got to really look at that and go, for our first deal, we didn't know what we were doing. That's okay. You guys came out on top and you guys are winning. So well done.
Thank you. And thank you, Isaac. Thank you for your mentorship and guidance through the whole process. And the big thing is we asked a lot of questions all the time. And we reached out and built relationships with you and, even with our realtor, Moon Kim, and anybody that we came in contact with, all the vendors, that we were in good communication with them and asked as many questions as possible, and then followed what Lifestyles has taught us through the unbelievable educational classes you can get. There's too many to count, but going through that process has really helped us, and we've stayed on that, following the lifestyle way, not doing our own thing, but definitely following the lifestyle way. And that's why it worked. Thank you.
Shout out to Chris too.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Chris started it all.
Thank you, guys. And it's been a pleasure doing this with you guys. Let's go to the next slide and let's walk that through. So you guys walk me through a little bit. How has this changed? Just the first deal, you're looking at the second one, mindset wise and also financially. What has this done for you so far?
What is this word, landlord?
It's definitely opened our eyes. It's definitely opened our eyes to what's possible, that it's a different way of thinking. And it's been great. We've learned to, to take the emotion out of it. You're running a business. And
he doesn't like the word landlord. What is it? Operator?
Owner. You're an owner operator.
Owner. Yes. Yes. I'm an owner. Yes. I'm not a slumlord. I'm an owner operator.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's completely changed what our plan is for retirement. I literally sold all my stocks. I'm cashing out my IRA as a time basis, so I don't get put into different tax brackets. I'm working with my CPA on that, but I'm going full hog into this and looking to ramp up as fast as I can. The only reason why I don't have more properties is because of Isaac. Isaac told me to slow down.
Yeah.
I remember those conversations, and it was Reza was ready to buy 15 deals the second day after the 2-day, and I said, let's slow this down a bit and let's get the first one. He's like, but I could do 4 at a time. I said, I know you can. You got that capacity. He's not an A, he's an A+. But he was willing to really just listen and say, you know what, fine, I'll do my first deal. I'm not really happy, but fine, I'll do it. And I'll just do one, and then I'll get into the second one. And he ended up buying a second one, and then he's like, and then he told me after, I was like, what? He's like, look, man, I really liked it. It was a good deal. And I was like, okay, let's work through that, but no more for right now. Let's get the first one done. And we kind of talked a little bit ago. I'm like, man, you're ready to start, piling them up as you want to, right? So this is where relationship comes in, guys, and conversations. Let's go to the last slide. I think it's your team. So if you want to quickly walk through your team there, Reza and Ashley.
Yeah.
Tammy from Gateway was phenomenal. She helped us refinance the loan. JR from AmeriSpec, he's my guy.
Yeah.
I use JR and his brother Zach for just about everything. All-Star saved our butts incredibly. The All-Star came in after a nightmare vendor issue with our original GC, which we had to fire, and All-Star Lewis and Charles from All-Star came in and got us all back on track, back on the timeline, and did a phenomenal job. I cannot say enough good things about All-Star. Yeah.
There's so many termites.
Yeah, there's the bugs. The bugs are insane. Or Craig from HR, he was incredible. Moon Kim's my boy. Moon Kim's probably tired of hearing from me because I'm constantly calling Moon Kim to find me more deals. But the vendors are incredible. Everybody's on board. Everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to see you succeed. I can't say enough about this crew.
Great job, guys. And he is right. He had an issue with a vendor at the beginning. And because he chose to apply what Lifestyles taught, which is get 2 or 3 different contractors out there, when he had an issue with the first one, he was able to quickly turn around and saying, hey, second vendor, you are already there. You know the property. Can you jump on it? And that's the benefit of doing things the right way and building your team before you get into a deal. You see sometimes you see that benefit when things kind of don't go the right way, and be able to turn around and get the right crew out there to start doing the work was testament to All-Star, but also testament for you guys following the map from the beginning. Let's talk about your short-term goals and your long-term goals, and then probably take a few questions.
Well, we're under contract on our second property was just completed. We're looking for a tenant. We're under contract on our third property. I'm moving forward with our fourth property this year, and we are investing in a 212 unit apartment community in Cincinnati. Looking forward to getting into that multifamily. I'm looking to stack up 8 deals by the end of next year for a total of 10, and then multifamily after that.
I love it. I love the goals, man. I love them, man. I know you guys will be able to achieve them.
Thank you.
So let's take some questions. Chris, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, I got a big one from online. Is how did give just a little bit of the mechanics of how they did this, being in Colorado and buying in Houston? I mean,
is there a question? Because there's a lot of answers to that and a lot of steps. Is there a more specific one?
Yeah, how did you do it being in Colorado and not in Houston?
A lot of phone calls, getting on the vendor list, one by one, calling, and literally following the Lifestyles way. It has set up questions for you to help guide you so you can get to know these vendors, see if they're a right fit for you. And we started building those relationships, but it's all phone and building relationships through and conversations and emails.
Yeah, lots of videos.
Yeah, that too.
We did video walkthroughs at every step.
Yep,
pictures constantly, and at some point you just gotta kind of relinquish control a little bit and leave it up to the team to make it happen. And they did. They knocked it out.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I mean, that was a full roof to foundation rehab in less than 3 months, and everything is brand new. It was awesome.
one of the things Reza said is he let go of control a little bit. I do want to clarify because I know their story really well. Was they didn't leave and just let be. That's not what it is. He meant they did the work and he followed up. They talked weekly. He got pictures and videos very frequently. He had someone there locally that he could contact with. So there was a lot of steps and processes that they took to be able to get where they were. And through the education and through the mentoring, you're going to be able to learn that same process. But he never fully relinquished. He was very in control because he's an owner operator and was very involved, just not physically. He just learned how to do it differently.
Right.
So just one of
Yeah, I'm a control freak, and I'm all hands on. I need to be there. So by releasing that and letting the vendors do their job, but keeping that communication at a high level really helped me settle down into a rhythm. You know, they would contacted me with videos daily, weekly, and it helped settle me down. And then following the model, we were able to get a renter into that house. I think it was like 2 weeks it took to get somebody in there. So we're happy.
Do you use a management company?
We use a leasing agent, a local leasing agent.
So
And
who
then
ran
they
it?
self-manage. So they use the leasing agent and they self-manage.
Now let me tell you why he can do that, right? Reza, who'd you learn this from?
From Isaac and Joe and you.
Right? And Isaac, did you live in Miami and buy in Houston?
Yes, I did.
Did I live in Dallas and buy in Houston and San Antonio? Yes, I do.
Yes.
So Reza, Ashley, all you guys have done is you've gone out and you've mimicked other people's success. That's all you have to do. You find a mentor, you find someone that's done it, and you replicate it. And you guys have done an excellent job at doing that all the way from communist Colorado after escaping communist California and investing in the wonderful, beautiful Republic of Texas. Yeah. All right, where we all care. Guys, anything you'd like to tell the new folks? You got 300 people right there listening online. You got a good 50, 60 people right here in this room. What would you tell the new folks getting in?
Get off the schneid. Just do it.
Rip the Band-Aid.
Just rip the Band-Aid off and go.
All right. Clear enough. Well, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and giving back and doing this. Not many people love having a public speaking assignment, but you guys have done an excellent job at it. So thank you very much. There's a round of applause for you.